Let's talk about ChatGPT. I mean, we've all heard of it, right? It's this incredible AI that can write your emails, debug code, even help you plan a vacation. Honestly, it feels like magic. But what if that magic is built on a foundation that's a little bit shaky? What if the very thing that makes it so powerful also makes it, well, fundamentally untrustworthy? That's the heart of what we're going to dig into today. ChatGPT's big problem with the truth.
And this quote it gets right to the point, doesn't it? It feels like we've kind of cracked the intelligence part, or at least we're getting there. But truth, that's a whole different ballgame. It's the central tension we're going to unpack right now.
So, just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly is ChatGPT? Well, it's a type of AI called a large language model, or LLM for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a massive digital brain that's been trained on a truly mind-boggling amount of text. Books, articles, websites, basically a giant chunk of the internet.
And the pace of its evolution has been absolutely breakneck. I mean, think about it. It first dropped in late 2022, and since then we've just had this rapid-fire series of upgrades. GPT-4, then the more versatile GPT-4o, and everyone's already talking about what GPT-5 is going to be. The speed of this progress is just wow.
All this progress has unlocked some abilities that are seriously impressive. We're talking about an AI that can write and fix code, compose music, ace exams, and even help you brainstorm a business plan from scratch. It's really no wonder it took the world by storm. But how does it actually do all that?
And this is where we hit a really crucial point. The way an AI thinks is nothing like how our brains think. At its core, it's all about incredibly sophisticated prediction. It's not about genuine understanding.
The secret sauce behind ChatGPT's helpful responses is this process with a fancy name, reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. It basically works in 3 steps. First, human trainers actually write out high-quality answers to show the AI what a good response looks like. Then, they get the AI to generate a bunch of different answers, and the humans rank them from best to worst. This teaches a separate reward model what humans prefer. And finally, the main AI model is trained to generate answers that will get the highest score from that reward model. And that's the key. It's optimized to give answers that sound plausible and helpful, which, as we'll see, is not always the same as being truthful.
So here's the absolute bottom line. When ChatGPT writes a sentence, it's not thinking. It's running a statistical analysis to predict the most probable next word in a sequence, based on all the patterns it's learned. You and we understand why Paris is the capital of France. We have a mental model of the world, of geography, of history. ChatGPT just knows that in its data, those words show up together a lot. And this fundamental difference is the source of a really big and sometimes dangerous problem.
Which brings us to the main event, the core issue of this whole explainer, the wild phenomenon of AI hallucinations. This is what happens when the AI is just confidently, completely, and utterly wrong. Now, that word hallucination can be a little misleading. The AI isn't, seeing things that aren't there. A much better way to think about it is confabulation. You know how sometimes our brains fill in gaps in our memory with details that seem plausible but aren't actually real? The AI is doing that. It's just making stuff up to complete a pattern, and it delivers that made-up information with 100% confidence.
The science fiction author Ted Chiang came up with what is, I think, the perfect analogy for this. He said to think of ChatGPT as a blurry JPEG of the internet. When you compress an image, you lose some detail. The overall picture is there, but some bits get fuzzy or distorted, while hallucinations are like those compression artifacts. They're the fabricated details the AI invents to fill in the gaps and make the picture look whole, even when it's not quite accurate.
And this isn't a rare occurrence. One analysis in 2023 estimated that ChatGPT hallucinates about 3% of the time. Now I know 3% might not sound like a huge number, but when you stop and think about the billions upon billions of words these systems generate every single day, that's a tidal wave of potential misinformation. And where that misinformation pops up matters a lot.
One of the most dangerous kinds of hallucinations is when the AI just straight up invents sources. It can create fake studies, made-up authors, and even whole academic journals that look completely real. Just imagine, a lawyer citing a non-existent legal case in a court filing, or a doctor making a treatment decision based on a medical study that never actually happened.
The consequences here are just enormous. In fields where the stakes are incredibly high, like medicine, law, or finance, these confident falsehoods can be an absolute disaster. We've already seen lawyers get in serious trouble for submitting legal briefs filled with fake citations.
This kind of error just completely destroys our trust in the technology.
But the problem isn't just about the AI accidentally getting things wrong. There's also the very real and very scary danger of this technology being used for harm on purpose. And the potential for misuse here is vast. These models can be weaponized to generate convincing propaganda at scale, to churn out political disinformation, to write malicious code for cyber attacks, and even to leak copyrighted material from their training data. And they are a social engineer's dream, making it scarily easy to create fake online personas or craft hyper-realistic phishing emails. So this is the fundamental challenge we're facing. We have this technology with almost unbelievable power on one side of the scale, and on the other, we have this desperate need for verifiable trust. How do we get all the amazing benefits without falling victim to all the terrifying risks?
Okay, so can we fix this trust problem? Is there a path forward? Well, the entire field of AI safety is dedicated to answering that exact question. And the big idea everyone is focused on is something called alignment.
Alignment is really just what it sounds like. It's the massive effort to make sure an AI's goals are aligned with human intentions and values. It's about trying to build models that aren't just powerful, but are also helpful, honest, and harmless. Models that we can actually trust to have our best interests at heart.
So how do we get there? Well, researchers are tackling this from a few different angles. They're working on improving the AI's factual grounding and reasoning, basically teaching it to check its facts and know when it doesn't know something. They're also trying to reduce the biases it picks up from its training data, make it tougher for bad actors to jailbreak it for malicious uses, and, this one's huge, make its decision-making process more transparent, so we can understand why it gives the answers it does.
And make no mistake, the stakes could not be higher. This isn't some niche academic debate. In 2023, thousands of top tech leaders and AI researchers, people like Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak, signed an open letter calling for a temporary pause on these giant AI experiments, citing what they called profound risks to society and humanity.
And all of this leaves us with a final, really critical question. We are building these incredible, sophisticated prediction machines, not conscious beings that actually understand the world. So can we, or maybe should we, ever be able to fully trust the machine that doesn't truly understand?
And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. As this technology continues to race forward at a pace that is honestly hard to comprehend, we have to keep reminding ourselves that the biggest challenge isn't about making AI smarter. It's about making it truthful.